Hey math kids, this video is going to be in two parts. This first part is just how we derive the quadratic formula from completing the square. So if you aren't interested in that or whatever, you can skip this video and just move on to part two, where we'll actually use the quadratic formula. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And I'm going to go through the steps of completing the square symbolically and show you that what we end with is actually the quadratic formula. So in completing the square, we move the constant to the other side. And then we divide everything by the leading coefficient. In this case, it's a. This cancels. We have x squared plus b over ax equals negative c over a. From here, we do the L step. So this one was we divide by 2, so that'd be b over 2a, and then we square. So that's b squared over 4a squared. And we take that and we add that to both sides of what we had before. Here, I can even zoom out a little bit. So we're going to take this and add it to both sides. So we get x squared plus b over ax plus b squared over 4a squared equals negative c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. Alright, this is getting a little crazy. We'll keep going though. We do the magic step. We say x, and then we take the elbow, which is a positive, b over 2a. And what we want to do here is get common denominators. So a becomes 4a squared if I multiply it by 4a and 4a. And so what's going to happen there is we get negative 4ac plus b squared all over the common denominator 4a squared. Alright, now moving up to the top right here, what we're going to do is solve for x. So I need to square root both sides. And so I get x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus square root negative 4ac plus b squared all over 4a squared. Alright, so what I'm going to do a little bit on the left-hand side before I move on. I'm going to just switch the top. So I'm just going to say b squared minus 4ac, because that should be familiar to you if you've done the quadratic formula. That's the correct order. Then I have my plus or minus, and I still have x plus b over 2a. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the square root to the top and the bottom. So the top can't go away. So the top is still under b squared minus 4ac. Still have my plus or minus. But the bottom, if I square root the 4, it becomes a 2. If I square root a squared, it becomes an a. Okay, I still have x plus b over 2a on that side. And now I'm just going to subtract that over to this side. So minus b over 2a minus b over 2a. And we get x is equal to negative b over 2a plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We're so close to looking like the quadratic formula. All we need to do, they already have common denominators, so we're going to put them all over a common denominator of 2a, and we get negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac is equal to x. So there's the quadratic formula, and watch video 2 or part 2 of this, and until then, calculator.